NLWN-TV now brings you the In the Dugout show. A look at today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. And now, join us in the dugout.
Hello and welcome to the Fan Appreciation edition of In the Dugout. Rick Olson here in the NLWN-TV studios, and we are getting ready to bring you the Eau Claire Cavaliers taking on the Marshfield Chaparrals at Carson Park in the annual Fan Appreciation game. Now, coming up in this edition of In the Dugout, we'll take a look at today's matchup between the Cavs and the Chaps. Then we'll get Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister's perspective on today's game in the Ryan Bemnister Show. Following that, we'll review the Chippewa River Baseball League playoffs. Also, we'll take a moment to get to know one of this season's Cavalier players in Cavalier Profile. Finally, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of today's game from Carson Park in Eau Claire. So it's time to get ready for some baseball action, and we'll do just that. Coming up right after this brief timeout, you're tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time hero to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to In the Dugout. Very shortly, the Eau Claire Cavaliers will take on the Marshfield Chaparrals from Carson Park in the annual Fan Appreciation game. This is an opportunity for the Cavaliers to say thank you to all the fans who have supported them this season. The Cavaliers are coming off a 1-0 CRBL playoff loss to the Osseo Merchants last Wednesday in a classic pitchers duel. Now, in that game, the Cavaliers were led on the mound by Andrew Milner, who pitched 5 scoreless innings, giving up 5 hits and walking only 2 while striking out 4 Merchants batters. Now, he was followed by Jalen Pascal, who gave up the only run of the game and was tagged with the loss in his 1 1/3 innings pitched. At the plate, the Cavaliers were limited to only 4 hits, and they were by Jackson Vance.
First, line shot out into right center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. So Jackson Vance singles for the first Cavalier hit of the night.
Tyson Woodcock.
2 balls and a strike. Ground ball out into left field for a base hit. Tyson Woodcock is going to hold it first.
Xavier Bemnister.
Here's the pitch. Fly ball out into shallow right center field, and it falls in for a base hit. Bemnister is on with a hit.
And although it was a little bit disputed, Gabe O'Brien.
Here's the pitch. Ground ball toward first. It's smothered, but he can't get control of it. Throw to first, and he's safe at first.
Today, the Cavaliers will face the Marshfield Chaparrals. The Cavs and the Chaps last met on July 17th, with Marshfield coming out on top 8-5. Now, leading the way at the plate in that game for the Chaparrals was Jason Kurth, who went 3 for 5 with 2 RBI. Also with multi-hit games were Riley Bauman, who was 2 for 2, including a double, and scored 2 runs. Chase Higgins went 2 for 5 and scored a run, and Sean Bryant, who went 2 for 3. On the mound, the Chaparrals were led by Karsten Jerschley, who picked up the win going all 9 innings and gave up 5 runs on 8 hits. Now, coming into this game, leading the way for the Cavaliers at the plate is Xavier Bemnister, who is hitting at a .360 pace and has driven in 13 RBI on 27 hits, including 5 doubles. Right behind Bemnister with a .311 batting average is Caden Erickson, who leads the Cavaliers with 37 hits, including 9 doubles. On the mound, the Cavaliers are being led by Lucas Costley. He's posted an 8-0 record with a 2.01 ERA and has struck out 62 in his 67 innings pitched, including 4 complete games. Andrew Milner has a 3.21 ERA with a 5-2 record and leads the team in strikeouts with 84 in 56 innings pitched, which averages out to 1.5 strikeouts per inning pitched. As a staff, the Cavaliers have a combined ERA of 4.52 with a whip of 1.67. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get manager Ryan Bemnister's perspective as we chat with him on The Ryan Bemnister Show. You're tuned to the Fan Appreciation edition of In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
The Goat Coffee House on Water Street in Eau Claire presents The Ryan Bemnister Show, where Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister gives us his perspective on today's game. And now, The Ryan Bemnister Show.
Once again, we're at the Goat Coffee House talking with Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister. And Ryan, today the Cavaliers get a chance to say thanks to their fans at the annual Fan Appreciation Game. But before we get to that, we need to get your impressions of the 1-0 loss the Cavaliers took at the hands of the eventual Chippewa River League baseball champion Osseo Merchants last Wednesday. Your thoughts about that game?
It was a good game. I mean, it's the goals were set at the beginning of the year to make the playoffs, and we made that playoffs, and we had a chance to win that game in the 9th inning, and baseball's a funny game, and it was bad luck to end the game. Really hard hit line drive that nobody could do anything about for getting doubled up, and he hits that 1 foot to the left, and it's a 2-1 game, and who knows what happens.
Right. In fact, somebody must have had a black cat walk by on Wednesday or something, because you couldn't catch a break. You were held to only 4 hits. Then you have a pitcher come in and give up a leadoff triple in the 6th inning. That guy scores on a wild pitch for the only run of the game.
Yep.
Then, as you were just saying, you had bases loaded in the 9th with nobody out. Get a strikeout, that happens. And then, boom, hard hit line drive right into the glove of the third baseman who stepped over onto the bag, and double play, game's over.
Yep. Nothing we can do about that. I mean, and the nice thing is, those guys didn't quit the whole game. I mean, we saw some pretty good pitching in that game. That's their number one guy, basically. I mean, they got those Heidi and Byam and those guys. But the Torres kid we saw was really good.
Pretty impressive.
He's very good. He's a good guy. And actually, he's one of the guys that commented on Facebook afterwards that the game with a good rival and a good game. So he's a good kid, too. And it is, like I said, we only managed to get 4 hits, and I think 2 of those hits came in the 9th.
And one of those was borderline whether it was a hit or an error.
Yeah. So it's just, there's nothing we can do. I mean, it was you probably had the 4 best teams in there playing for this, and I really thought either Osseo or us would be the ones that would eventually come out on top, because it just seemed like both teams were clicking at the right times, and they had enough pitching and they had enough depth everywhere else. So,
and then they had a real battle on Saturday for the championship with Tilden.
Yeah.
So it says a lot for the Chippewa River League.
It does.
You have 4 teams of that caliber battling it out, and any one of the 4 could have easily been the league champion.
Yeah, and we're not going to be hanging our heads low on this one. I mean, we had to win 5 of our last 6 games just to make the playoffs, which was really cool, and to have a 1-0 game against, as it was put to me, statistically the best team in the CRVL, offensively, defensively, and pitching. It's hats off to them, but the Cavalier program should be very proud of what the boys did at the end of this year, especially.
So now it's the annual Cavaliers Fan Appreciation Game, and the Cavs are going to face the Marshfield Chaparrals. Now, in addition to saying thank you to the fans, how much of a warm-up is this for the upcoming WBA regionals that are coming this weekend?
Well, it's going to be treated like all of our non-conference games. There's guys that know that they have to work on some things. We're going to get some guys out there to play in some positions to get them fine-tuned in case they're going to have to be put in that position during the WBA next week. But we're going to have some fun with it. We're going to go out there and you're going to see a bunch of different pitching. We're going to make sure guys get some, we'll call them bullpen sessions on the mound against Marshfield, and just to make sure their arms stay fresh. Because a couple of guys haven't thrown. I mean, we only had to throw a couple guys in the last week, with Lucas and then Andrew and, Jalen. I'm still waiting to hear on what his arm's like, but I mean, we really didn't have to pitch very many guys. So it'd be nice to get those other guys out on the mound and just make sure they're fresh and ready to go for the next weekend.
Now, a little bit earlier this season, the Chaparrals came into Eau Claire and defeated the Cavaliers 8-5. You expect to see basically the same team from the Chaps today?
No, not really. With Marshfield, it's kind of like with us and a lot of other teams that travel for an hour and a half. You're going to get different guys that are able to do it. And I believe they even had to pick up a couple guys from other teams to help them out to fill the full team to be there. So maybe you'll see a few of the same guys, the hardcore Marshfield guys, but you might see a few new arms, new bats, stuff like that. But I mean, Marshfield's always fun to play. We go down there every year. They come to us, and
they too are getting ready for the WBA.
They are, so they're probably going to be fine tuning a little bit like that, just like we are. So I mean, it's probably how we're going to treat it. Got a good relationship with those guys, so we'll let it know beforehand what the real plan is, and it should be a fun night.
Now, you kind of alluded to this already, but based upon the other non-league games that you've played this season, will this be one of those games where you might be throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at the Chaps?
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of like I said earlier, I mean, we need to get Tyson back on the mound. We got to get Lucas an inning or two just to make sure he's back in form, because being off for a week, stuff like that. We need to get Jax on the mound. Fish is looking like he's pretty dialed up. We'll probably get him out there for an inning or two. We'll get Xavier out there for an inning or two. Just the arms that we're going to need going into the playoffs and stuff like that. And just, get some other guys making sure they're ready to play positions that they might be having to play due to, a smaller roster. I mean, we get to carry 25 guys. We go to WBA and only carry 20. Well, we've only carried 21 guys all year, and that's including 3 call-ups. And we're going to be down 2 other guys, so we'll be down to 16 players on our roster for the WBA. So we might have to force somebody into a position that they're not comfortable with, but they know they're familiar with.
Well, Ryan, good luck on today's game. Hopefully the Cavaliers can use this game to get ready for the WBA regionals on Saturday.
I hope so.
You've been tuned to the Ryan Bempnister Show, presented by the Goat Coffee House on Water Street in Eau Claire, with Cavalier manager Ryan Bempnister's outlook on today's game. Stay tuned. More of In the Dugout is coming right up.
Honey, the kids are antsy. What can we do that will keep all of us entertained and won't break the bank?
How about we take them to the Cavaliers game? Tickets are inexpensive, there's popcorn, hot dogs, and other baseball treats, and great baseball action.
That's right, Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball, your best choice for affordable family entertainment. Check out the schedule at www.eauclaircavaliers.org.
Welcome back to the Fan Appreciation Edition of In the Dugout, as we're getting ready to bring you all the action of today's game between the Eau Claire Cavaliers and the Marshfield Chaparrals. Now, both of these teams are getting ready to begin Wisconsin Baseball Association regional play next weekend. Now, last week, the Chippewa River Baseball League wrapped up its season with its championship tournament. On Wild Card Wednesday, the Osseo Merchants defeated the Cavaliers 1-0 in one of the semifinal games. And the Tilden Tigers came from behind to defeat the Eau Claire Bears 5-3 in the other. Now that set up the championship Saturday matchup at Casper Park in Chippewa Falls between the Tigers and the Merchants. In that game, the Osseo Merchants emerged victorious by a score of 2-1. Congratulations to the Osseo Merchants on being crowned the 2023 champions of the Chippewa River Baseball League. Now, both the Cavaliers and the Chaparrals are preparing for the WBA regional tournaments this weekend. The Cavs play in the Ellsworth Regional and will face the Iron City Miners on Saturday and the Whittlesea Reds on either Saturday evening or Sunday afternoon, depending on how the game with Iron City turns out. Marshfield will play in the Augusta Regional, facing the Elmwood Expos on Saturday and the Tilden Tigers on either Saturday or Sunday. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get to know one of this season's Cavalier players on Cavalier Profile. You're tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, August 12th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers in the Wisconsin Baseball Association Regional Tournament taking on the Iron City Miners from Ellsworth, Wisconsin. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, August 12th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Time now to get to know a Cavalier player on Cavalier Profile. We'll get to know a little better who plays on this year's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball team. And now, Cavalier Profile.
Today we're talking with Jackson Vance, a returning player today on Cavalier Profile. And Jackson, where have you been spending the spring playing ball?
I've been at college in Winona, Minnesota at St. Mary's.
Okay, and how'd that season go for you?
We finished 18 and 19, fifth in conference, so we didn't make a playoffs, unfortunately, but it was a good year.
So can you fill us in on what your role is with the Cavaliers?
Just try to do all I can to win ball games, make plays, get on base.
Wow, that's pretty good plan right there. So when did you start playing baseball?
4 or 5, started right at T-ball, and have played ever since.
It's kind of hard to put down once you start, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's fun.
So aside from the Cavaliers, would then St. Mary's be the highest level you've played?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. How would you compare playing at the collegiate level with playing summer ball with the Cavaliers?
College baseball is a lot more intense. Definitely about winning. I mean, obviously we want to win in the summer, but it's nice to get out here with the guys and just play nice, relaxed baseball.
Okay, all right. Can you fill us in on your most memorable experience and that for baseball, either as a player or as something you might have seen from the stands?
Most memorable moment would be winning state in my junior year of high school.
And that was with?
Eau Claire North.
Okay. And how about your family and those people that are cheering for you at Cavs games?
Yeah, my mom and dad are here. They'll come down from the cabin to watch me play. My grandma, who turned 81 yesterday, she comes out for games sometimes.
Okay. A few rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
Which kind?
Chocolate chip.
Oh, the good old standby.
Yep.
You can't go wrong with good chocolate chip. All right. Store-bought or homemade?
Homemade, definitely.
Yeah, nuts or no nuts?
Nuts.
Okay.
Yep.
This guy likes the good cookies. All right. Your favorite color and why?
Green. I don't know. It's nature. It's just a nice color to look at.
Okay. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Probably super strength, so I can hit the ball real far.
Pretty good plan there. All right. If you have a superpower like super strength, you have to have a superhero name to go with it. So what's Jackson's superhero name?
The Magnificent Jacks.
Okay, Magnificent Jacks. All right, we'll go with that. Your favorite major league team as you were growing up?
Twins.
All right. And was there a particular player that inspired you or that you kind of patterned your play after?
I really like Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau growing up, obviously being a Twins fan.
The M&M boys.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Jackson Vance here on Cavalier Profile. And Jackson, when you're not playing baseball, what are we going to find you doing?
I guess I'll be disc golfing, out on the lake, working out. That's usually it, or working.
Okay. All right. And so when people come to watch Cavalier games, and they want to find that Jackson Vance character, what number should they be looking for, and where on the field should they be looking?
5, middle infielder, really anywhere, I guess.
Okay, we want to thank Jackson Vance for joining us today on Cavalier Profile. Coming up next, more In the Dugout.
This has been Cavalier Profile, where we get to know a little better who plays on the Cavalier baseball team. Stay tuned, more In the Dugout coming right up.
My character, Shazam, knows all about growing up in a family full of teenage superheroes. They're bold.
Where's everyone going?
To fight crime?
Okay.
Adventurous. Shazam! There's never a dull moment. And no matter what happens, they'll always have your back. All they need is a place to grow and be themselves. And the best part is, you don't have to be a superhero to adopt a teen. Learn more about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
Welcome back to In the Dugout. Today is the final regular season game for the Cavaliers, and they want to take this opportunity to thank their fans on this fan appreciation game. Key to today's game, enjoy the day, but also use it as a chance to stay tuned up for the WBA playoffs and maybe get a little bit of revenge for that 8-5 loss to the Chaparrals back on July 17th. That all means you're about to see some exciting Cavalier baseball, and we'll have it for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, in just a moment, I'll be joining the rest of our broadcast crew at Carson Park in Eau Claire as we bring you all the action of today's annual Fan Appreciation Game. You've been tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been watching the In the Dugout show with a look at today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. This has been a presentation of NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Slayton's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Eau Claire Cavalier baseball is on the air. The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly brings you today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. Join us as we follow the Cavs while they battle their way through the Chippewa River Baseball League.
Fly ball into left field. Could it be? Could it be? Way back. Toss the fence and it's out of here. It's a 3-run home run and the Cavaliers take the lead.
And now, out to the ballpark for coverage of today's game.
And good evening and welcome to Carson Park for Fan Appreciation Day as the Cavaliers are getting ready to take on the Marshfield Chaparrals in baseball action. Across the way we have Eau Claire Memorial having some football practice, and so there's a lot of purple over on the football field and a lot of baseball players here on the baseball field, and we're getting closer and closer to being ready to start this game. So Dan, why don't you tell us who's playing in it?
Yeah, here's the starters for the Chaparrals. Batting first will be their pitcher, number 10, Nick Urban. Batting second will be the right fielder, number 2, Isaiah Beyer. Batting third will be their center fielder, number 25, Riley Bauman. Batting fourth will be their third baseman, number 44, Logan Hamalaka. Batting fifth will be their first baseman, number 4, Kenny Schultz. Batting sixth will be the left fielder, number 18, Chase Higgins. Batting seventh will be their catcher, number 7, Sean Bryant. Batting eighth will be the shortstop, number 9, Will Lee. Batting ninth will be their second baseman, number 17, Carson Park. Batting 10th
That's
will be
Jerschley.
Okay. Batting 10th will be their EH extra hitter, number 20, El Liacata. And on the mound will be Nick Urban. For the Cavaliers, batting first will be their second baseman, number 6, Caden Erickson. Batting second will be the left fielder, Campbell Kapanke. Batting third will be their third baseman, number 5, Jackson Vance. Batting fourth will be their right fielder, number 20, Jack Redwine. Batting fifth will be their catcher, number 19, Cole Timon. Batting sixth will be their designated hitter, number 25, Cody Dayton. Batting seventh will be their center fielder, number 14, Luke Erickson. Batting eighth will be their first baseman, number 12, Tyson Woodcock. Batting ninth will be their shortstop, number 17, Ben Boda. Batting 10th will be their extra hitter, number 34, Ashton Crowell. And on the mound will be number 8, Lucas Cosley.
And Ashton Crowell is our Geno's player of the game today. So mention Ashton's name when you go out to Geno's Pizza tomorrow, and you'll get a free soft drink. And if Ashton can find his way to cross the plate and score a run, that soft drink will turn itself right into an appetizer for your table. And lo and behold, they'll let anybody in the press box up here. Ben Ryder just came in. He's going to be ready to join us. He and Dan are going to share some activities there on the color commentating. And while we wait for things to get ready, let's take this time out and get ready for some baseball here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How is it? Is it good?
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
And we're back here at Carson Park. And so today it's me, Rick Olson, along with Ben Ryder and Dan Petchow and Monroe on the computer and Cassie Johnson-Nelson on the camera.
5 peas in a pod.
Oh boy, I tell you, it's crowded in here today. It's kind of a nice crowd though.
The breeze is good.
Oh yeah.
And so the Cavaliers with their final tune-up before they head off into the WBA Regionals that's coming up this weekend, but it's kind of an interesting lineup. Cavaliers' leading hitter, Xavier Bemnister, is under the weather and unable to make it tonight. So we have kind of an interesting lineup. It's good to have Cam Kapanke back after getting his brother moved down to Texas, and as good brothers do. And that's why we get, like, Ashton Crowell to get the starting spot as the extra hitter today. We've got a pretty interesting lineup going on tonight for the Cavaliers. The Marshfield Chaparrals come with a little bit of a light lineup. They've got a couple of reserve players. And, I think they've got 2 extra players, Luke Wirtz and, let's see, it's Cole Hediger are in reserve. Luke Wirtz is the manager for the Chaparrals as well. He's one of the playing managers that we see from time to time. Had a real interesting chat with Ryan Bemnister a little bit earlier today as we were getting ready for today's game down at the Goat Coffee House. And he looks at this game for a couple of reasons. One is a tune-up, give the pitchers a little bit of a chance to get their bullpen sessions taken care of against some live hitting, and let the players out in the field get a chance to clean things up and sharpen up as they get ready to take on Iron City on Saturday in the WBA Regionals. And I know I'm looking forward to that. Ben, what are you seeing tonight?
I'm liking what I'm seeing. It looks like the Cavs, it's not a playoff game tonight, but, I think the Cavs are acting like it is just so they can be fresh and ready to go when they play Saturday. They're looking real good with their infield, outfield practice right now. And, they're joking around, but they're serious, too, and that's good to see.
And Dan had a lot of running around he had to do right before the game. He got one of those dreaded phone calls that you get from your wife saying, honey, I broke the truck. So, how's Angie doing with the truck over there, Dan?
Everything's okay. Yeah, I said nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
The wheel is a little crooked, but that can be fixed tomorrow.
All right.
So.
Tyrod?
Tyrod, yep.
Oh, boy.
Right when she came out of the parking lot in town here, which is only, I don't know, how far is it down to?
Down to the federal building?
Yeah, not that far.
It's not very far. Was it the federal building or the courthouse?
Well, just across the bridge from the courthouse.
That's the federal building, okay.
So, yep, it wasn't too bad. I got back here in, I don't know, under and a half hours, so it's all good.
And what did you do with Angie?
Oh, I think she...
Is she around here
she's got
somewhere?
the truck. I don't think I left her anywhere. No.
Okay. She's somewhere safe and responsible,
yeah,
right?
she's got the vehicle. She dropped me off, and hopefully she comes back and gets me. So,
well, we're waiting for umpires to come out and have our conference. I heard Ryan Bemnister go over and tell the Chaparrals that the umpires had a 7 o'clock first pitch scheduled. It's now 7:02, and I haven't seen an umpire yet. So, maybe it's going to be a while yet before we get umpires for this game. We're ready to go. I know Steve Kent over in the public address booth is ready to go. Kirk is ready to go to keep stats, and people are still filing into the stands. And we're ready for baseball to get started here, but and as I mentioned, we have Eau Claire Memorial football practice going on over on the football field.
Yeah, high school football starts pretty quick here, a couple weeks.
We have our first broadcast on the 18th, so that's about just over a week and a half from now? Well, today's the 7th, so 11 days.
11 days.
And you'll be at Colfax with Jay Fall to bring us that game. That'll be on NLWN-2. And we're hoping that meanwhile we have Cavalier baseball on NLWN-TV in the WBA state tournament if they can get through pool play this weekend in the regionals. And they have to get by Iron City on Saturday at 1 o'clock, and then they have to get by Whittlesea, and that game will be at either 7 o'clock on Saturday or at 4 o'clock on Sunday. It all depends on how that game against Iron City comes out. Now we have Cavaliers all gathering around their dugout, and Chaparrals kind of loosening up down by their dugout, and still no umpires. Waiting to see if they, who knows, maybe we'll have to have Ryan Bemnister go out there and call balls and strikes. He would love that.
Yeah. Yeah, their changing room was kind of down in the far right from us, so we really can't see anything. But
Lake. And I still don't. I saw part of the Cavalier staff go running over toward the umpire dugout, and he hasn't come back yet. So I wonder if the umpires weren't thinking it was a 7:30 first pitch. I think Ben's kind of agreeing. Speak up, Ben. Hang on, Ben. I'm going to fix your microphone here so it's down where we can hear you.
all right, they are here.
They are here?
Well, they're in the facility.
Oh,
so they must
okay.
be changing.
I was talking to
The
Kirk.
umps are in the building.
I was talking to Kirk earlier, and he said the umps were told 7:30. So that was the mix-up.
Okay.
Okay, and I know that there was some information on Cavalier sites that said 7:30 and some that said 7 o'clock. And so that's why Cavaliers have gone out to take care of their ins and outs, as Ryan calls it, their fielding drills. And while they do that, why don't we take a bit of a timeout as we're waiting here for this one to get started on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right. As a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, August 12th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers in the Wisconsin Baseball Association Regional Tournament taking on the Iron City Miners from Ellsworth, Wisconsin. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, August 12th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How is it? Is it good?
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. and you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute pre-diabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-TV. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Back here at Carson Park, we're getting ready to bring you Cavalier baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. And for some reason, my audio isn't working very well here. But anyway, I was going to tell you who we have for first pitch pitchers. Evidently now we have 5. And there are 5 youngsters down there getting ready to throw out the first pitch. We're going to have Avery Miller, Kenton and Carson Schultz, Cole Shear, and Harley. If Cassie can get me that sheet of paper back again, I can't even read my own writing. I think it's... Yeah, it's Harley Snortheim.
It's like wrangling cats down there.
Boy, I tell you, it was. I was writing that so fast I had no idea what those letters were that I had written down. So the Marshfield Chaparrals out now taking their warm-up drills. I do see umpires here, and we have a crew of first pitch people on the camera. You can see them down in front of the Cavalier dugout. Avery Miller is the first one there, the young lady with the pigtails. And then I'm assuming it's Kenton and Carson Schultz, Cole Shear, and Harvey Snortheim. We will also have a national anthem singer. And that'll be Ellie Glass. And we're just getting ready for some baseball action here. And keep looking over the fence at Eau Claire Memorial football practice. And can't tell if they're just in shells or if they're in full gear tonight. Looks like they're full padded tonight. I know that they were taking pictures, some of their publicity shots, a little bit earlier because they had the big reflector out there. You know, Dan, high school football coming up, there's nothing quite like it. There's that feel of the fall in the air and...
Yeah, putting on the pads, getting out there and hitting somebody right away. There's nothing better than that.
I remember those days. They were a long time ago. Strapping on that leather helmet. Who needs a face guard?
That's right.
And you know, they say running backs haul the rock. Back when I played, it was.
You just carried a pig around, right?
Yeah.
Didn't need a football.
Where it got the name Pigskin.
And right in the middle is our little osprey up there all season. She's been working that nest. If Cassie can get a shot up there. Just sits up there.
That Osprey family is quite the sports family. They watch stuff on both sides. And I think they really do watch. They sit up there on that nest and watch the baseball games and the football games on the other side. When we've done football games over at Carson Park in the other press box, sure enough, they're facing us over there as well.
Yeah, that nest has been there a long time.
I always felt that if Eau Claire had a football team, a semi-pro team, that it should have been named the Ospreys.
The Ospreys.
You have a built-in set of mascots. They fly overhead. Be a good name for a baseball team, too.
The Eau Claire Ospreys. New CRBL team?
They have a hard enough time scheduling the Cavaliers here. Yeah, Cassie and Ann approve of that name. Hey, if it gets the Cassie and Ann seal of approval, it's a done deal. So the Chaparrals still taking their fielding drills, and you know what? Let me take a quick look here. I want to remind you that today is a fan appreciation game, and so it's also a really good time for us to express our appreciation to the Cavalier organization for giving us the opportunity to have such a great summer at the ballpark, bringing you all these games. We'd also like to express our gratitude to our wonderful sponsors for making these broadcasts possible, and especially to you, our viewers and listeners. If it weren't for you, none of this would be happening. Don't forget that today's Geno's player of the game is Ashton Crowell. So if you mention Ashton's name when you go out to Geno's tomorrow, you get yourself a free soft drink. And if he manages to score today, you get a free appetizer for your table. Hey, don't forget that today's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball game is brought to you by Geno's Pizza right next to Action City, near the intersections of Highway 93 and I-94. Midwest Environmental Consultants, lawn care and soil testing experts for Western Wisconsin. The Goat Coffee House at 336 Water Street for good coffee and great sandwiches. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Menominee Eye and Optical with quality personalized care for you and your family. Mama Squirrel's Cleaning and More, ready to get your house sparkling. Your Napa Auto Parts store at 3580 Mall Drive in Eau Claire. Slayton's Technology Service, official IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. And Royal Credit Union, where they're different in a good way. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Our next Cavalier game on NLWN or NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network will be Saturday from the WBA Regionals in Ellsworth as the Cavaliers will face the Iron City Miners. Our coverage will begin at 12:30 with the In the Dugout show, followed by all the play-by-play action. Also, don't forget that the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are excited to announce that NLWN2 will be the new home for Colfax Viking football. Our first broadcast of Viking football will be on Friday, August 18th, when the Vikings take on the Whitehall Norsemen. Viking preview will begin at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play action. It looks like the Chaparrals are getting ready to start winding things up, so we will take one more time out before we're ready for baseball action today. And you're tuned to Cavalier Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Alvo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future. at aceyourretirement.org.
And then his head brother, Paul, thank you.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
And we're back here at Carson Park taking a quick look at the future of baseball down there. Avery Miller playing catch down there with Caden Erickson. And then also down there is Harley Snortheim, who is down there playing catch with Tyson Woodcock. And they're getting loosened up because they're a couple of our first pitch throwers tonight. The Marshfield Chaparrals have completed their ins and outs, although a couple players have to go out and pick up all the errant balls they got by first base. There's 4 of them out there in right field, so they've got to go out and get those. Then we're going to have the managers meeting out at home plate, and we'll get the starting lineups here in just a moment. As Ryan Bemnister goes out and Luke Wirtz heads out for the Chaparrals. Our umpires tonight, Denny Whiteside behind the plate, and Paul Osman out on the bases.
And your very own 1914 Eau Claire Cavaliers. The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to remind you that attending this event is a privilege.
And we're going to send it down to the public address announcer, Steve Kent.
And located down the third baseline, where you'll receive a $1 token, good for use at the souvenir stand. As a friendly reminder, Carson Park Baseball Stadium is a non-smoking facility. If you must smoke, we ask that you please leave the stadium. Again, there is no smoking in Carson Park Baseball Stadium. Thank you. Finally, all fans, especially those in the bleachers, are reminded that at a baseball game, when foul balls make their stands at a high rate of speed. We ask that you remain alert at all times. Tonight's Fan Appreciation Night starting lineups, beginning with Marshfield Chaparrals. Leading off and pitching, number 10, Nick Urban. Batting second, the right fielder, number 2, Isaiah Byer. Batting third, playing center field, number 25, Riley Bauman. Heading forward, the third baseman, number 44, Logan Homolka. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 4, Kenny Schultz. Batting sixth, left fielder, number 18, Chase Higgins. Hitting seventh, the catcher, number 7, Sean Bryant. Batting eighth, and playing shortstop, number 9, Will Lee. Batting ninth, the second baseman, number 17, Karsten Kirschwey. And hitting 10th, the extra hitter, number 20, Al Lalakata. The Chaparrals are coached by Luke Wirtz. Now, the Fan Appreciation Night starting lineup for your Eau Claire Cavaliers. Leading off, playing second base, number 6, Caden Erickson. Batting second, left fielder, number 27, Cam Kopenke. Playing third base, number 5, Jackson Vance. Batting cleanup, right fielder, number 20, Jack Redwine. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 19, Cole Tynan. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 25, Cody Dayton. Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 14, Luke Erickson. Batting eighth, point first base, number 12, Tyson Woodcock. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 17, Ben Moda. Batting 10th, the extra hitter, number 34, Ashton Carl. In pitching for the Eau Claire Cavaliers, number 8, Lucas Cosley. The Cavs at first line, Mr. Coffee, Ryan Benister. He's assisted by Flying Brian Meyer and the Rhino, Ryan Page. The officials for tonight's game, on the bases, Mr. Paul Osmond. And behind home plate, Sir Dennis Whiteside. Now, would you please rise if you're able, remove your hats, and honor America for the singing of our national anthem by Miss Ellie Collapse.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread there, the bombs bursting in the air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
That's Ellie Glass with the singing of our national anthem. And now we're going to get our first pitch throwers, and we'll send it back to Steve Kent to make sure we get the names lined up.
Got 6 of them. First, Miss Avery Miller. Let it fly. Next, Mr. Kenton Schultz. Letter Kenton. Up next, we have Carson Schultz. All right, Carson, let it fly. Up next, we have Mr. Harley Snoran. I think Harley also doubles the carriers that way. Is that correct? Nice toss. Harley. All right, next we have Michael Wan.
Nicole Shearer and
Yeah, you know,
Nicole's giving us a bit of a talk here.
Donated back his prize, which was a baseball backpack and glove. So we are going to give it to Mr. Cole for all of his support to our organization.
Cole Shear got a backpack with some stuff and a glove for all the support that he's given to the Cavaliers this year. I know, as we were saying, Dan, you get a chance to play catch with Cole on occasion before Cavs games, especially those away games. You've had a chance.
Yeah, we worked on fastball. We worked on the curveball. And it's got a little pop to it.
And yeah, I was going to say, he can really throw.
Yeah. He's got to grow a little bit, and he'll be on the mound.
Well, Lucas Costley on the mound with a jersey that's not usually his.
I saw that.
He normally wears number 8. Today he's wearing 24. That used to belong to Cody Dayton. Costley comes into this game with a record of 8-0, and he has a 2.01 earned run average. He is the Cavaliers' leading pitcher. Look for him to only throw a couple innings today. Just enough to, as Ryan Bemnister said, get a pretty good bullpen session in against some live hitting.
One thing I'd like to add, 2 former Cavalier players and Marshfield Chaparral players, Gary Varsho and Paul Varsho, just wanted to mention their names.
Yeah, they played for both these teams. And, of course, Gary is currently
with the Express.
Managing the Express.
That's right.
That's right.
Heard that last night.
In fact, Ann and I were over here at the Express game last night, and although we enjoyed the evening at the ballpark, the result wasn't quite what we were looking for. All right, leading off, getting things started, Nick Urban, the pitcher for the Marshfield Chaparrals, steps in, left-hander. And the first pitch from Costley is a strike on the outside corner.
Should mention there's only 4 Chaparrals that played the last time they played the Cavs.
And that one just missed inside. Counts even at 1-1. Yeah, I remember going through the lineup here, and I was looking to see how they did last time, and I'm going, holy cow, none of these guys played. Here's the pitch. Fly ball out into center field. And coming in is Luke Erickson to make the catch. That's going to bring up Isaiah Beyer, who also did not play the last time these two teams met. He's playing right field tonight. Line shot right into Caden Erickson's glove at second base. It's going to bring up Riley Bauman. He was the leading hitter for the Chaps when they played the Cavaliers last time around. Went 2 for 4, scored a couple runs. He's playing center field tonight. And a strike over the inside third of the plate. Costley at the belt. And he delivers. Ground ball foul down the third baseline. Nice job over there by Luke Wirtz over in the third base coach's box. Showed that he still has skills. And the pitch. Foul back into the screen. Count remains 0-2. Here's the pitch. Ground ball over to third.
Picked up there by Vance. Throw to first. It's a little bit low, and it gets by Woodcock. And over to second goes Riley Bauman.
Yeah, long throw for Vance. Tried to skip it into him and just came up almost like a little short. Tyson couldn't get a hold on it.
Woodcock lost his sunglasses in the process. Logan Omalaka. And the pitch is inside for a ball. 2 down, runner on second. And that's a called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. Ooh, that just missed the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Costley at the belt, looks over at second. And the 2-1 pitch. That missed outside. Three balls and a strike. Costley checks second and delivers. Fly ball out into right field. Foul. That was about a 1.5 foot foul. Had extra bases written all over it. So the count is full to Logan Homalaka. And the pitch. Ground ball over to first. Off the foot of Woodcock, and it rolls out into center field. I think that's going to go as an error on Woodcock. I guess that adds a whole new meaning to booted it.
No comment, Rick.
Yeah, it was tough play. It was going away from him. I don't know if they would have had a play anyways at first.
Yeah, I don't know if Costley, I was watching the ball and not Costley. I don't know if he would have been there in time or not. Kenny Schultz at the plate. He's the first baseman. 1 run in. As Bauman scored from second on that error. Costley takes a peek over his shoulder at first and delivers. And that's a called strike. 0-2 now the count to Kenny Schultz. Costley at the belt. And the pitch. Soft liner out into center field, falls in for a hit. So 2 runners on. Schultz at first, Homalaka at second. Brings up Chase Higgins, the left fielder. Top of the first inning, 2 down. All this has happened with 2 outs. 2 fairly quick outs. Costley delivers. The pitch is outside. What looked like it was going to be a quick inning for Lucas Costley is all of a sudden turned into a lot of pitches. And high and away. No, he called it a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Costley at the belt. And the 1-1 pitch. Out high and away. 2 balls and a strike. Costley looking in and delivers. That's outside.
Yeah, he's trying to work that outside edge there.
Three balls, 1 strike. To Chase Higgins. And the pitch. Strike called on the outside corner. Count goes full. Traveling time now for Omalaka and Kenny Schultz. Out on the bases. Runners go. High pop up in the infield. Costley coming in to make the catch, and he does. So, that'll do it for the top of the first inning, but not before the Chaparrals pick up a run on 1 hit. There were 2 Cavalier errors and 2 left on base. We played a half inning, and it's the Chaparrals 1 and the Cavaliers coming to bat on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
I love the pizza we get when we go to Gino's Pizza.
That's because Gino's has been voted best pizza in the Chippewa Valley 5 years in a row.
I think it's because Gino's uses the freshest ingredients, premium quality meats, cheeses, savory spices, and zesty toppings, and all served with attention to detail.
Now you're making me hungry. Let's head to Gino's Pizza.
Scott and the rest of the folks at Gino's Pizza would like to invite you to come out and try the area's best pizza. Call about Monday through Wednesday dine-in specials at 715-835-2000. That's Gino's Pizza at 5110 Fairview Drive, Eau Claire, right next to Chaos Water Park.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Back here at Carson Park with a mouthful of cotton candy that Dan just handed me.
Hot dogs and cotton candy.
Hey, baseball food. On the mound is Nick Urban for the Chaparrals. And leading off for the Cavaliers will be Caden Erickson. He'll be followed by Campbell Kapanke and Jackson Vance.
Yeah, I was going to go for a run the other day, Rick, but I wasn't in any shape to run.
All right, so Caden Erickson steps to the plate, batting .311 on the season. And the pitch. Ground ball through the hole and into left field. Erickson gets on a hit. 1 pitch, 1 man on for the Cavaliers. Coming up, Campbell Kapanke. And Campbell's batting .282, and we finally have him back as he was helping his brother get moved in down in Texas. That's what you ought to do as a brother, isn't it?
That's what I would do.
Line shot down the left field line. That's going to move Erickson over to second. He turned it. Probably a good idea that he thought better about going.
And that's why I'm up here and Coach Bemnister's down there.
So back-to-back singles to left field for the Cavaliers brings up Jackson Vance with nobody out, 2 runners on. Vance batting .211. And there's a strike on the outside third of the plate. This wouldn't be a bad time for Vance to lay down a bunt. He's good at that. Check swing. He had a notion, but it was inside for a ball.
You know, I had to do a double take. Xavier Bemnister is now leading the Cavs in batting average.
Unfortunately, he's not here tonight. And that pitch missed for a ball. Must have been a little bit low. 2 balls and a strike. And the pitch. That's high for ball 3. Jackson Vance going to be looking at a hitter's pitch here. And the pitch. Fly ball out into center field. Coming in is Bauman, and he makes the catch and not deep enough for anybody to advance. So 1 down. It's going to bring up Jack Redwine. Redwine stepping to the plate with a .275 batting average and a pair of home runs this year. That one's a strike on the outside corner, and Redwine will look at that outside pitch just about every time when it's the first strike. Urban at the belt. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball. Nice stop that time by Sean Bryant behind the plate. Urban at the belt, and he delivers. Foul back into the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Jack Redwine. And that pitch is outside, counts even at 2-2. And it's fouled back. Count holds at 2-2.
Should mention that was Caden Erickson's 120th at bat on the baseball season. Thank you, Kirk.
And we have time called as Sean Bryant wants to go out and talk with Nick Urban.
So the next Cavalier with at-bats would be Campbell Kapanke with 103.
Redwine steps in. Urban at the belt. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 3. That's going to bring up Cole Timon. Timon batting .256. He also has a pair of home runs. Good thing those football players all have helmets on, because Cole could send one right about where they are.
I was thinking
on that field.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time.
That's where he sent the last one that he hit here. Pitch is outside for a ball. Urban at the belt. And the pitch. It's outside, ball 2. Timon had a frustrating day down in Osseo. Would love to make up for it here. Swing and a miss for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Foul back into the screen. Two balls, two strikes, two down, two on. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Cavs down by a run. And the 2-2 pitch. It's outside, ball three. We're at traveling time again. This time it's for the Cavaliers. Runners should be off on the pitch. And the runners go. Swing and a miss for strike three. Urban works his way out of a little bit of trouble in the bottom of the first. No runs for the Cavaliers on 2 hits. No errors, 2 left on base. We have played an inning, and it's the Marshfield Chaparrals 1, Cavaliers nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us, on the roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Visit either of Eau Claire's 2 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores on Highway 93 or North Claremont Avenue.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right, as a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
Last Wednesday.
All right, leading off the top of the second for the Marshfield Chaparrals is Sean Bryant, the catcher. When these two teams last met, Sean went 2 for 3. And he chops that one foul. That time, Luke Wirtz wasn't quite able to catch up with it. Over there in the coach's box. Made a good effort, though. And the pitch is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls in the strike now to Sean Bryant. Line shot out into center field. Good solid base hit picked up by Erickson and flipped back into Erickson at second.
Yeah, he worked the outside edge and tried to sneak one inside. Marshfield gets on top of it.
These two teams last met on July 17th. Marshfield came out on top 8-5 in that game. First pitch is fouled back to Will Lee. Lucas Costley on the mound at the belt and delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. And the pitch, that's high for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cosley peeks over at first. Now the 1-2 pitch. Outside, quick snap throw down to first, and it was a little bit wide of the bag. They had a pretty good shot at getting Bryant that time. Cosley looks in and delivers. Fouled off on the right side into the bleachers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Cosley looks over. Now delivers. Line shot out into left field for a base hit. 2 runners on. Back-to-back hits by the Chaparrals. It's going to bring up Karsten Jersley. Jersley was the starting pitcher in the game last time these two teams met. Went to all 9 innings, gave up 5 runs, but only 2 of them were earned by the Cavaliers.
Yeah, we gave him the nickname Iron Man.
He was talking to me earlier today, 163 pitches in that game. I asked him if one arm is longer than the other now. Count is now 2-0 to Karsten Jersley. Cosley looking in. And time called. The umpire called time that time. Denny Whiteside. Cosley looks over at second. And the 2-0 pitch. Soft liner out into center field, falls in for a base hit, and the bases are loaded. 3 straight base hits. That was a little Texas leaguer out into center field. Brings up Al Lalicata.
Yeah, you know, Cosley was trying to work that outside edge. First inning, ended in the second, and he's just not getting the call, so he had to come back inside to get a strike, and then he had to leave it over the plate.
Ryan Bemnister out to the mound to have a chat. And we have some activity heading down to the bullpen for the Cavaliers.
Yeah,
looks like Andrew Milner is going to get a few warm-up throws in.
Fisher.
I think Milner is the one that's going to be warming up.
So Fisher will be the spotter?
I believe so. Cody Dayton is going down to warm him up. So Al Lalicata stepping to the plate. Nobody out, bases loaded. First pitch is a called strike.
So it looks like first and third are going to go home. Shortstop's playing for the double play.
And the pitch. 2 strikes. So they've rolled the corners up. And the pitch. Soft liner caught by Woodcock over at first. We needed every inch of his height to get that. 1 down, and the bases are still loaded. Takes us back to the top of the order with Nick Urban. He flew out to center field last time up. Costly at the belt. He takes a peek and now delivers. No. Time was called.
Bemnister not happy there.
No, he's unhappy that the umpire calls time once Costly has gotten into his motion.
Somebody could get hurt.
Namely the pitcher. Line shot just off the beyond the edge of Erickson's glove. One run comes in. Throw comes to the plate and the runners hold with a base hit for Nick Urban. So in to score is Sean Bryant. Bases are still loaded with one out. Isaiah Byer hit a line shot to Erickson his first time up on the first pitch that he saw. Strike called on the inside third of the plate. And the pitch. Ground ball foul down the third baseline. No balls and 2 strikes to Isaiah Byer. And the pitch. Fouled away. Count holds at 0-2. One down, bases loaded, the 0-2 pitch. Soft liner out into right field, and it lands fair down the right field line. One run's in, here comes a second run in. Throw comes in, and Isaiah Byer doubles to right field and picked up 2 RBI. As Will Lee came in to score, as did Karsten Jerschley.
So Marshfield now leads 4-0.
And Nick Urban is over on third. Isaiah Byer at second. Here's the pitch. Strike called. To Riley Bauman. And the pitch. Fly ball out into center field. That one burned Erickson. It's going to roll all the way out to the fence. This could be 3. He rounds second, heading for third, and slides in at third, driving in 2 runs. And Ryan Bemnister is going to go out, and we're going to have a pitching change. And we'll have that all sorted out for you right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-TV. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If I could be you, and you could be me, for just 1 hour, if we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
70.
Back here at Carson Park, and new pitcher for the Cavaliers is Andrew Milner. Lucas Costley, one of the roughest outings I've seen him have ever since this season began. And first hitter to face Milner is Logan Homalaka, and a pop foul. And I don't think he got it out there, as Ben Boda made a really nice effort from his shortstop position. But anyway, Costley went 1 1/3 innings, gave up 6 runs, 5 of which were earned runs on 7 hits.
Milner comes in with a 3.21 ERA, 5 wins, 2 losses, 56 innings pitched, 20 earned runs, and 84 strikeouts.
And Dan, you were saying that Costley was trying to work that edge and wasn't getting it. Fly ball out to center field. Erickson moves over, he makes the catch. And a run comes in to score.
Yeah, Costley likes to work that outside edge. And I don't know. They were pretty close. And he couldn't get the call. So he had to bring it back inside. And
that's where they teed off on him.
Yeah, if you leave it right down the middle, they're going to eat that up all day.
Kenny Schultz, who singled to center field his first time up. And the pitch is a called strike. And strike 2 called. Milner threw 5 scoreless innings against the Osseo Merchants on Wild Card Wednesday. That was low for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kenny Schultz. And the 1-2 pitch, that one's inside. Curveball just didn't quite break in. That was a big bender he tried to throw that time. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to center field. Erickson drifting back. Makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So, 6 runs on 6 hits. There were no Cavalier errors and nobody left on base. We've played an inning and a half, and it's the Chaparrals 7 and the Cavaliers nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
So we head to the bottom of the second inning. Nick Urban on the mound for the Chaparrals. He retired the Cavaliers in the first inning after he gave up back-to-back base hits to start the inning and then proceeded to shut him down. So leading off for the Cavaliers will be Cody Dayton. He'll be followed by Luke Erickson and Tyson Woodcock. Cavaliers going to have to get those bats going. I'll tell you, Ben, it's a little disconcerting when you call a play here in a baseball game and then you have the referee from over on the football practice announce a penalty, and I'm sitting here and all of a sudden there's a 5-yard penalty and I'm looking, where?
Okay, try having ADHD.
All right, stepping up is Cody Dayton. Cody sends a fly ball out to right center field, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Cody rounds first. He's heading to second, and he's going to be in safely. So Cody Dayton starts things off with a double to center field. Brings up Luke Erickson. Erickson batting .210.
And we should mention, sometimes when a team takes a long time to bat, it's hard for the opposing pitcher because he has so much rest.
Good point.
So we'll see how this Chaparrals pitcher does here.
Urban at the belt and delivers. Pitches outside for a ball. Dayton takes his lead out at second. Urban delivers. Ground ball, high hopper over to first. Picked up there by Schultz, and he steps on the bag, but Dayton moves over to third. Tyson Woodcock. Woodcock batting .167. Cody Dayton over at third takes his lead. Urban delivers to the plate. And it's a strike called on the outside corner. Tyson Allen Woodcock. And the bat went flying. The ball ended up in the catcher's mitt.
Should mention, Woodcock comes in batting .167. And now he's rubbing something on the bat to get a better grip.
A little bit of pine tar. Yeah, your hands get a little bit sweaty. That bat can get pretty slick. And it's fouled back on the right side. No balls, 2 strikes.
I know 4 kids that'll be chasing that ball.
Urban winds and delivers. That was high and inside. Little chin music that time for Tyson Woodcock. Yeah, Dan says no shaving tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Foul back. Count holds at 1-2.
It's like a off-speed pitch there.
Yeah, Woodcock was pretty much out in front of that. And the pitch. Inside. Ball gets away from Bryant, but he chases it down. Two balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Cody Dayton on third. Cavs need to get some runs. Start clawing their way back into this one. Here's the pitch. Curveball missed high, and the count is full. That was a tough one to look at.
I was going to ask you what that was.
Just a little high. Here's the pitch. High ball 4. So Woodcock draws the base on balls. Runners are on the corners. Brings up Ben Boda. Ben batting .134. With 1 out. Runners on the corners. Dayton takes his lead at third. Woodcock at first. There's the pitch. Strike called on the inside third. And the pitch. High chopper over to short. Step on second. Throw to first. In time for the double play. 6 unassisted to 3. And that ends the second inning for the Cavaliers. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We've played 2, and it's the Chaparrals 7, Cavaliers nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right. As a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
Back here at Carson Park as we start the third inning, and the Chaparrals have Chase Higgins coming to the plate. Sean Bryant and Will Lee will follow him. First pitch from Andrew Milner misses outside. Ball 1. Milner goes into his wind and fires. High and away, ball 2. Milner winds and he delivers. Swing and a miss. Higgins went chasing a high pitch that time. I don't think it was Milner's fastball though. And the pitch. There's the fastball, but it was down low. 3-1 is the count. The wind and the 3-1 pitch. Fouled away, count goes full.
For the record, Milner leads the pitching staff in strikeouts with 84.
Here's the wind and the pitch. Strike 3 called. Higgins thought he had ball 4, and Denny Whiteside said, nope, you're out. Brings up Sean Bryant. Sean Bryant started that mess last inning with a single to center field. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 1. The wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Milner winds and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to Sean Bryant. Will Lee stepping up.
You know, Rick, it's like you always say, different pitchers bring different things.
That was some speed they weren't seeing out of Lucas Costley.
You read my mind, buddy.
Will Lee, single to left last time up. He swings and misses. We saw Milner do this to the Eau Claire Bears over in Altoona in the bottom of the 12th inning. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That was in your debut.
Yeah, I must have passed because here I am.
And the 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Milner comes in and strikes out the side in the top of the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base, and we've played 2.5. It's the Chaparrals 7, Cavaliers nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Now, we'll have to check the tape on this, but I do believe what we just witnessed was an immaculate inning by Andrew Milner. He threw 9 pitches, all of which for strikes. Now, one was a foul, but it's still a strike. So a 9-pitch, all-strike, 3-strikeout inning, that's an immaculate inning, and those are as rare as no-hitters.
So I just saw history, Rick?
You did. You did. It's only the second one that I've ever seen since we started doing Cavalier games 2 years ago. Paul Petit did one up in Jim Falls. He got the Sturgeons on an immaculate inning.
I think somebody should let Coach know so he gets the ball.
Well, you know we're going to talk with Ryan Bemnister after the game, and it's going to get mentioned there. That's why I made a note so this old brain doesn't have to remember it. Stepping up to the plate for the Cavaliers is our Geno's player of the game, Ashton Crowell. Remember, mention Ashton's name when you go out to Geno's tomorrow. First pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. And that pitch missed. So you mention Ashton's name when you go out to Geno's and get a free soft drink. Pitch is down low for a ball. 2 balls and a strike.
According to my stat sheet, Ashton Crowell is looking for his first hit.
No time like the present. There's a strike called. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ashton Crowell.
He's had 5 at-bats.
That pitch is low and inside. Got away from Sean Bryant. Full count now to Ashton Crowell. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Crowell goes down swinging, 1 out, and we go back to the top of the order. Caden Erickson led off the game with a single to left. Here's the wind and the pitch. That's inside. You know, it is a little different feel at a baseball game when all of a sudden Jimi Hendrix comes wafting in over the left field fence as they're playing all along the watchtower over there. Here's the wind and the 1-0 pitch. Down low for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes to Caden Erickson. There's the wind and the pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike.
Chaparral catcher doing a great job of framing that one.
Yeah, he might have done some convincing there. Fly ball, foul territory, and unable to make the catch over there is Kenny Schultz.
Better way.
He had it in his glove.
Switch to Royal Credit Union. Royal Credit Union.
And got so excited.
Shout out to Royal Credit Union.
Yeah, well, an unintentional one. We'll get them later. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Caden Erickson. Pitch is high and away for ball 3.
Looked like a knuckleball there.
It did, and it just kind of knuckled away from the zip code it was supposed to go to. Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball fouled back into the screen. Count holds at 3-2.
And the Chaparrals dugout having some with the catcher there, giving him a little hard time.
Nick Urban goes into his windup, and the pitch. Fly ball out into right field. Backing up a step is... It's Isaiah Beyer for the second out. Brings up Campbell Kapanke, and Kapanke singled to left field his last time up. Here's the pitch. Strike called on the outside edge.
It's nice to see Campbell back in the lineup.
Here's the pitch. Strike 2 called. Campbell didn't like that call very much. Shook his head at it. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Urban delivers. Fouled back. Here's the wind and the 0-2 pitch. That's outside for a ball. And the pitch. Ground ball foul down the third base line. And a foul ball, this time on the right side.
I'll tell you, Fisher chased that ball down in left field bullpen. He could give some of these kids a run for their money getting these foul balls.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, and the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Kapanke goes down swinging. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base for the Cavaliers. We've played 3, and it's the Chaparral 7, Cavaliers nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Royal Credit Union's low rates and flexible terms on auto loans can help keep your payments low. Get a great rate on your next car or truck purchase, or refinance an existing vehicle with an auto loan from Royal Credit Union. Royal also offers loans for buying or refinancing boats, UTVs, and other vehicles. Royal Credit Union wants to help keep your payments low. Check rates and apply for a Royal Credit Union vehicle loan online at rcu.org/autorate. Subject to credit approval.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Back here at Carson Park. So Dan's ride is now here as his wife came to get him after he came and rescued her. So we say goodnight to Dan. And the pitch is outside to Karsten Jerschley for the Chaparrals. So that means Ben Ryder and Ann Monroe and Cassie Johnson-Nelson are here, along with yours truly. That pitch missed. 2-0 is the count now to Jerschley. Milner's pitch is a strike called. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Fly ball out into right field, coming in hard, but not going to be able to make the play is Redwine. And on safely is Jerschley. He's got a 2-hit night going. That brings up Al Lalicata. Alicata lined it to Woodcock last time up. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Jerschley with his lead. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. It looks like Milner stopped messing around.
It's going right at him.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chase the outside pitch. 1 down. Brings up Nick Urban. Urban is 1 for 2. He's singled to right and flew out to center field. Throw over to first. Back in fairly easily is Karsten Jerschley. And the pitch is outside for a ball. Milner delivers. Pitch is outside. 2 balls, no strikes. To Nick Urban. Line shot over to Erickson. Flip to short, and it missed the connection at short. Boda didn't come down with it. Wasn't that high a throw. Actually, Urban gets on a fielder's choice. Put Jerschley on second via the error, and the first pitch to Byer is a strike. Byer doubled his last time up. Pitch is high for a ball. That's a 3rd error on the Cavaliers. Pitch is high, check swing. 2 balls and a strike. And the pitch, outside. Milner not very happy with himself there, trying to groom the mound a little with his feet. And the pitch. Strike called on the inside edge. Full count now to Isaiah Byer. Ground ball. Milner throws to first for the 1 out, advancing both runners. That brings up Riley Bauman. Bauman is 1 for 2. He tripled his last time up. Drove in 2 on that triple. and came in to score later on his own. High pop-up. It's in the infield. Erickson calling everyone else off. And he does not make the catch. It's a fair ball. 2 runs come in to score. I think Erickson lost it in the lights. Or check that. That's not Erickson. Yeah, it is. I saw the 15 and thought that would, but no. Caden Erickson missed it. So 2 runs come in. No RBIs are given on that. And both those runs are not earned. Swing and a miss for strike 1 to Logan Homalaka. That pitch was just high. 9-0, Marshfield on top. And the pitch. That's high for a ball. Three balls and 1 strike right now. And ball 4.
That'll bring everybody's favorite coach to the mound.
Ryan Bemnister heading out. Kenny Schultz is due up for the Chaparrals. And Milner with his hat off. But nobody had been working in the Cavalier bullpen. So Bemnister out there, I think, trying to refocus the players a little bit.
I think he wants to refocus them, and I think he wants to get Milner some innings pitched before the playoffs.
We're also reminding Milner that the 2 runs that scored this inning are unearned. 2 runners on. That's Bauman at second, Homalika at first, Kenny Schultz at the plate. He's 1 for 2, and the first pitch is called strike. Schultz singled the center field and flew out to center. I think I'd shade him to center right now.
I think I would too.
And it's fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Line shot foul on the third base side. And here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. One ball, 2 strikes. Pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. So for the Chaparrals, they do pick up 2 runs on 1 hit. There was 1 Cavalier error and 2 were left on base. So we've played 3.5, and it's the Marshfield Chaparrals 9 and the Cavaliers nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, August 12th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers in the Wisconsin Baseball Association Regional Tournament taking on the Iron City Miners from Ellsworth, Wisconsin. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, August 12th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Back here at Carson Park, and it really does my heart good to see this park utilized as much as it is. We have the Cavs right here at this historic baseball stadium, the place where Hank Aaron began his career as a Milwaukee Brave, playing for the Eau Claire Bears, and Joe Torre played here, Bob Euchre played here, as well as many others. And then right across the fence at the football field, Eau Claire Memorial's having their intra-squad scrimmage. And there's a lot of cheering and stuff going on over there. And then out beyond center field, there's a softball game going on. And the first pitch is a strike.
I'm going to be in a good mood now. I just placed an order for my food.
Just mustard and relish.
Mustard and relish.
I think Ben is auditioning for Alabama here. He ordered his hot dog, and he ordered it with mustard and relish. That's the way we like our dogs, with mustard and relish.
Up here in the cheap seats.
Yes, in the cheap seats.
My apologies to the broadcast staff.
We got a great pitcher, what's his name, but we can't even spell it. Here's Urban's pitch. That's a strike called. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Jackson Vance. Vance flew out to center field his last time up. He fouls that one away, just guarding the plate there.
Should mention Drew Wathke down in the Cavalier bullpen warming up.
Urban looking in. Goes into his wind and the delivery. Curveball didn't get there. That was real close.
I like that pitch.
It's a hard one to watch go by when there's 2 strikes on you. Full count now to Jackson Vance. And he grounds it out towards third. Picked up, throw to first, and it's in time. Homalaika over to Schultz for the put out. That's going to bring up Jack Redwine, strikeout victim his first time up.
Marshfield has not committed a single error tonight.
Here's the pitch. That one missed and then got past Bryant.
So if I'm a coach and I'm looking for a pregame speech, boy, I want to hear the Marshfield Chaparrals coach. Both times they've come in here, they have looked tough.
Well, there's a reason they're in the WBA playoffs. They're in the Augusta Regional. They're in the same pool with the Tilden Tigers. Runners up in the Chippewa River Baseball League.
Yeah, and that should be pretty interesting.
Here's the pitch outside for a ball. 3 balls, no strikes now to Jack Redwine. Here's the 3-0 pitch. It's outside for ball 4. So Redwine draws a walk. That's the second walk given up by Urban. Brings up Cole Timon. He also struck out his last time up.
And base runners for the Cavs have been few and far between. Strike one there. Swinging. Inside part of the plate.
On Wednesday against Osseo, Timon went 0 for 4, and 3 of those were strikeouts. Fouls that one back into the glove. 0-2 is the count.
So I probably don't need to mention this, but it'd be nice to get him going heading into the playoffs. Because we do know what he does bring to the plate when he's up there.
No balls, 2 strikes to Cole Timon. The 0-2 pitch. Fly ball out into center field. Drifting back is Bauman, and he's under it, makes the catch. That brings up Cody Dayton. Doubled his last time up. Doubled to center field. And the first pitch is high and away for ball 1. And the pitch. That's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 down, runner on first. And the pitch. That's low. Ball 3. I think Nick Urban might be fatiguing just a tad. Cavs haven't made him work too hard tonight. Here's the pitch. That's a strike called. Dayton was taking all the way. He kind of wished he wasn't that time from the look on his face.
Pretty good pitch to hit there.
There's the pitch. And that got Cody Dayton. So the Cavs have runners at first and second now with Luke Erickson coming up. He grounded out to the first baseman unassisted his last time up. Here's the pitch. And that missed for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss.
So
Erickson
if
wanted to get that one.
If this guy's at all how I was when I was a kid, with my brothers, I was really competitive about my batting average. So you got to wonder if him and his brother talk about that much.
And the pitch. That's high. 3 balls and a strike. This would be a hitter's pitch now to Luke Erickson.
And you could hear Coach Bemnister encouraging him on.
Fly ball, right side, foul. He got all of that one. Actually, Cassie, that was kind of over in the direction of your car that time.
That's okay. I need a new windshield anyway.
Okay, Cassie says she needs a new windshield anyway.
You got full glass, right?
And the look over at second, and chases red wine back. Full count with 2 down. It's traveling time. Runners go, and strike 3 called. So for the Cavaliers, no runs, no hits, no errors. 2 were left on base. We have played 4, and it's 9-0. Chaparrals on top on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us, on the roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Visit either of Eau Claire's 2 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores on Highway 93 or North Claremont Avenue.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right. As a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
New pitcher for the Cavaliers, Drew Wathke. So Andrew Milner went 2 2/3 innings. He actually gave up 2 runs, but neither were earned. Only 1 hit and struck out 5. And the first pitch is fouled back to Chase Higgins. Higgins is 0 for 2, popped out to the pitcher and struck out looking. Also out playing left field is
Blake Bemnister.
Yes, Blake Bemnister. And he's in for Kapanke.
Should mention Drew Wathke, 8.2 ERA, 3 wins, 1 loss, 18 2/3 innings pitch, 17 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. Back to you, Rick.
3 balls and a strike. And that's ball 4 to Chase Higgins. What is the whip for Drew Wathke?
2.14.
Okay.
Does that meet your approval?
Ground ball over to third, foul.
I think you told me earlier you'd like a 1.5 or less.
Yeah, that's where you want it, is 1.5 or less. So he's running a little bit high, and giving up those walks is what he needs to stay away from. 1 strike to Sean Bryant. Now it's 1-1. Chase Higgins on first. And that pitch is outside.
Is it me, or has Marshfield had a runner on in every inning?
No, they have not. We had the immaculate inning that was thrown by Milner.
How quickly I forget.
And the runner takes off. Look out! Back towards us and just over our press box.
Cassie goes, that's not even close. Yeah, Cassie got hit by one down in Osseo. She knows close when she sees it.
I didn't even flinch when I got hit.
She's going, I didn't even flinch.
She's that good.
And she's right. She didn't flinch. She was seated right next to me. And after it was all said and done, she goes, that got me. Foul back, and Timon couldn't quite hang on to it. 2 balls and 2 strikes is still the count. And the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That's going to bring up Will Lee. He's 1 for 2, singled to left and struck out looking. He was the third out in what I believe was an immaculate inning by Andrew Milner. Yeah, it's a good thing that wasn't our window, that it just smacked into over there on our right side. High fly ball, actually short pop-up high. One of those rainmakers that Boda gets under and makes the catch. That brings up Carson Jersley. Jersley is 2 for 2. He's singled to center and singled to right. And fouls it back into the screen. Nine to nothing. The Chaparrals on top of the Cavaliers. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Boda at second. Tries to find the handle, and now he gets it over to Woodcock at first. In time for the third out. So, for the Chaparrals, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left on base. We have played 4.5, and it's the Chaparrals 9 and the Cavaliers nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, August 12th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers in the Wisconsin Baseball Association Regional Tournament taking on the Iron City Miners from Ellsworth, Wisconsin. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, August 12th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Back here at Carson Park, Rick Olson along with Ben Ryder, Ann Monroe, and Cassie Johnson-Nelson as we head into the bottom of the 5th inning. Tyson Woodcock at the plate for the Cavaliers.
Rick, I got to warn you, whatever you do, remember one thing. Cassie is my bullpen spotter.
That's true. And a strike called on the outside corner. I think The corner grew a little on that one. Yeah. 1 ball and 1 strike to Woodcock. And that pitch missed inside. 2 balls and a strike to Tyson Woodcock. That one's inside. Hitter's pitch here for Woodcock. And the pitch. Strike called on the outside edge. Counts full now. And the pitch. And it's fouled back into the screen. Three balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. We're in the bottom of the 5th. And there's ball 4. Woodcock draws the base on balls. That's the 3rd walk given up by Nick Urban. Brings up Ben Boda, who grounded into a double play his last time up. And that's a called strike right at the knees. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He chased a high one that time. No balls, 2 strikes to Ben Boda. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That brings up our Geno's player of the game, Ashton Crowell. He struck out his first time up. Remember, mention Ashton's name out at Geno's Pizza tomorrow. Get yourself a free soft drink. And if he scores, it'll be a free appetizer. Swing and a miss for strike 1. He didn't get his feet very well set that time. Oh, check that. That's Blake Bemnister up at the plate. He takes over as the Geno's player of the game.
Bemnister coming in looking for his first hit of the season. He's scored 2 runs as a pinch runner, and he's been up to bat twice.
Well, he goes down on strikes. It takes us back to the top of the order, Caden Erickson. And the pitch is outside. And the pitch. That's inside. Oh, I guess it's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 down. That missed outside. 2 balls and a strike. Caden Erickson 1 for 2 today. Singled and flew out to right. And a strike called at the letters. Curveball came down in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. And the pitch. Ground ball right back up through the shortstop's wickets and into center field.
Don't look now.
They're going to charge a shortstop with an error on that. That brings up Campbell Kapanke, who is now the extra hitter for the Cavs.
And inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Campbell Kapanke. 2 runners on. Woodcock at second. Erickson at first. And the pitch. Strike called on the inside third of the plate. And the pitch. Foul ball into the Marshfield dugout. Urban shakes off a couple signs. Now delivers. Check swing, foul, and right into the glove for strike 3. So for the Cavaliers, no runs, no hits. There was 1 error, and 2 were left on base. We've played 5, and it's the Chaparrals 9, Cavaliers nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us, on the roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Visit either of Eau Claire's 2 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores on Highway 93 or North Claremont Avenue.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Back here at Carson Park, Rick Olson along with Ann Monroe, Cassie Johnson Nelson on the camera, and Ben Ryder giving us all of his insightful comments, such as they are.
Maybe you want to hear them, maybe you don't. I'll tell you one thing, I would like to be a mouse down there by Ryan Bemnister. Boy, he's real serious tonight.
So Drew Wathke back on the mound for the Cavaliers. Al Lalicata coming up for the Chaparrals. He's 0 for 2. Lined out to Woodcock and struck out his 2 previous at-bats. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Swing and a miss. He's chasing the high fastball from Drew Wathke. No balls, 2 strikes. Grounds that one over to third to Jackson Vance. Fires over to first, and it's in time. 1 down. Brings up Nick Urban. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He singled to right field. It was an RBI single. He's also grounded into a fielder's choice and flew out to center field. First pitch missed outside. 1 ball and no strikes. That one missed inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the wind and the pitch. Foul back into the screen. Two and one is the count. And the pitch. Ground ball to Woodcock, and it got past him down the first base line towards the corner, heading over to second, and that's going to be a two-base error on Woodcock.
And that, my friends, is why you hustle as a base runner. You never know.
That's going to bring up Isaiah Byer, and Byer is 1 for 3. He doubled to right field. Also lined out to Erickson at second and grounded back to the pitcher, and the first pitch was a strike. Pitch from Wathke, fly ball out into right field. Redwine's under this one, makes the catch and fires it in. Brings up Riley Bauman. And Bauman is 1 for 3, tripled for his one. Then the other two he got out on errors. So he's been on base all 3 times. First pitch is high for a ball. Pitch is outside. Or check that. That was called strike. Danny Whiteside's usually more demonstrative with his calls than he is tonight. Line shot out into left field. Diving for it. He can't get it, and it goes past him to the fence. 1 run is in, and the throw comes in. He's going to check in at second with a stand-up double is Riley Bauman. And they're going to charge an error to Bemnister out in left field. And as the run came in, it is now 10-1 or 10-0. Ground ball, foul down the first base line. And the pitch is low, gets away from Timon, but he chases it down. Logan Homalaika at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Line shot right into the glove of Tyson Woodcock. To end the inning, 1 run on no hits. There were 2 Cavalier errors and 1 man left on base. So we've completed 5.5, and it's the Marshfield Chaparrals 10 and the Cavaliers nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right. As a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
New pitcher on the mound for the Chaparrals is Cole Hediger. And he's gone. Nick Urban went 5 innings, did not give up any runs on 3 hits, and he struck out 8 Cavaliers. And we've just been informed that this is now going to be a 7-inning game, regardless, which means they aren't going to utilize the 10-run rule. This is going to be 7 innings either way, regardless of how this turns out. Because if they were using the 10-run rule, if this was a 7-inning game, it would have actually ended after, well, it could end after this inning.
So does that mean if the Cavs punch one across, we might play 9 innings?
No, we're playing 7.
7 no
Both
matter.
teams are getting ready for the WBA, and they don't want to get people too worn out.
Thank you.
Jackson Vance at the plate for the Cavaliers. He's 0 for 2. That pitch missed inside for a ball. We have some action going on down in the Cavalier bullpen. And the pitch inside. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jackson Vance. Here's the pitch. Swing and foul. Counts even at 2-2. And the pitch. That's low. Count goes full to Jackson Vance. Fouled away. Count holds at 3-2.
So it's going to be interesting what he's going to throw him here.
I think it's Jake Fisher warming up down in the bullpen for the Cavaliers. And that was inside for ball 4. So Jack Redwine coming to the plate. He's 0 for 1, struck out. He also drew a walk. Pitch is low for a ball. And the pitch. That's high. 2 balls. Oh, check that. It's 1-1. And the pitch. Line shot. It almost took Hediger's head off. As Jack Redwine is on with a base hit. 2 runners on for the Cavaliers with nobody out. Brings up Cole Timon. Timon is long overdue to make something good happen. 0 for 2 today. 0 for his last 6. And the pitch. Missed inside. 1 ball and no strikes, 2 runners on. Hediger delivers. That's low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 pitch. Fly ball out into right field. Moving over is Byer. He's under it and makes the catch. Runner tags and advances. Jackson Vance now on third as the Cavs have runners on the corners. Cody Dayton coming to the plate. He's 1 for 1. He doubled. He also got hit by the pitch once. That's all it takes. Hediger looks in and delivers. That's high for a ball. Hediger looking in and delivers. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Redwine at first. Jackson Vance at third and a called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. That was inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch. Foul back right over the press box here.
And finally, those kids have something to do.
Count remains 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Fouled away again off the right side.
And when it rains, it pours for those kids.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
There was 4 of them, and they've been running around getting every foul ball. I'm tired just watching them.
Oh, the energy of youth.
Oh.
2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Past shortstop. And 1 run comes in for the Cavs.
Coach Bemnister likes that.
They're going to charge the shortstop with an error. And I think in this situation, you would still get the RBI. Because Jackson Vance came in to score. Fly ball foul on the right side. To Luke Erickson. He's 0 for 2. Grounded to first and struck out looking. And that pitch missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that went behind Erickson. Throw to third. In safely as Redwine. For a minute there, I thought that got him right on the cheek, but it didn't. It went right behind him. So the runners each advance on a wild pitch. With 1 out. Two balls, 1 strike. Cavaliers finally got a run on the board. And that one missed low outside. And the pitch. That's a strike called. That run that scored is the first run in at least 14 innings for the Cavaliers because they were shut out. And actually, it's more than that. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, the Cavs have faced some tough pitching the last 3 games. Runs being at a premium the last 3 games for the Cavs.
That's at least 18 innings because they had the last half of that game against the Rivermen. First pitch is outside for a ball to Tyson Woodcock. Woodcock does not have an official appearance at the plate yet, or official at bat, I should say. He's walked twice. There's a fly ball on the right side, foul territory and out of play. And the 1-1 pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tyson Woodcock. He steps back in. And the pitch. High, ball 2. Counts all even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, 2 on. Runners take their leads. Hediger delivers. And it's a called third strike. So for the Cavaliers, they do pick up 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 error, and 2 were left on base. And we now have on the mound for the Cavaliers coming in is Jake Fisher, and we'll get all that information for you right after this on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Ready for a better way to bank? Switch to Royal Credit Union. Royal Credit Union is a financial co-op, not a corporation, so we return earnings to our members. That means you get low or no fees for account services and better rates on deposits and loans. You'll also have all the digital tools you need at your fingertips, so managing your account is easy. Royal is ready to help you discover the credit union difference. Switch to Royal Credit Union today at rcu.org/difference. Insured by NCUA.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Back here at Carson Park, new pitcher for the Cavaliers, Jake Fisher. The numbers for Drew Wathke, he went 2 innings, gave up 1 run. There were no earned runs, and he did not give up any hits. So, leading off for the Chaparrals in the top of the 7th, Kenny Schultz. Schultz is 1 for 3. He singled his first time up and then flew out to center field and struck out. First pitch was a ball. Now it's a fly ball out to center field. Erickson going back, and he makes the catch. He had to get on his horse for that one.
So the stats on Jake Fisher, 2.65 ERA, 0 wins, 1 loss, 17 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 11 strikeouts, and he has a whip of 1.65.
Did he have any saves in there? Pitch is outside for a ball.
I see 0 saves down here.
Okay. Two balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 pitch. That's a strike right down the middle of Water Street.
And it's funny you mention that, Rick, because he comes in a lot as a reliever.
And a ground ball over to Boda. Throw over to first. And they can't make the play. Woodcock can't hang on to it. So Chase Higgins gets on an error. That's going to bring up Sean Bryant. He's 1 for 3. Singled and then struck out twice. That's error number 6 on the Cavaliers, and I know Ryan Bemnister's not going to be happy with that.
No, heading into the playoffs, you want to be sharp.
And it's some of these routine plays that are worrisome. Pitches high and inside.
I'll echo that.
And the pitch. High and inside ball, too. Fisher glances over at first. Now delivers. And that's high and inside ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. To Sean Bryant. Swing and a miss. He had the green light. It's now 3-1. A lot of managers believe in that. Go ahead and give the batter the green light with a 3-0 count because you're going to give him another one on 3-1. And it's high for ball 4. So 2 runners on now for the Chaparrals. Brings up Will Lee. Lee is 1 for 3. He singled to left, struck out, and popped to short. Here's the pitch. And that one's high, gets by Timon, and the runners each advance. One ball, no strikes. Corners are up. That pitch missed. 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch. That's inside, ball 3. Jake Fisher struggling with the zone right now. And the pitch. Outside ball 4, and that wasn't even close. Bases are loaded. Karsten Jersley, 2 for 3 tonight, singled twice, and then grounded to short. That pitch was just a little bit high for a ball. And a foul tip. That one got Timon on the inner thigh. No balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Check swing. And they appeal it to the base umpire, Paulson, and he said nope. Or Paul Osman. See, I told you, Ben, I do that. Take 2 words and put them together to make one. Pitches outside, gets by Timon. Here comes a run in. So a run scores on the wild pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The only umpire in the CRBL to strike out Reggie Jackson, and you forget his name.
I didn't forget it. I just crunched it.
Okay. You're forgiven.
And there's a strike 3 call. 2 down. Al Alicata comes up. He's 0 for 3. And the pitch is outside for a ball. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss for a strike. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And the pitch. High pop up. Fisher coming in, makes the catch for the 3rd out. So, we head to the bottom of the 7th, and it's the Marshfield Chaparrals 11, Cavaliers 1 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform in attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right. As a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
And a bit of a discussion going on down along the first baseline with Brian Maher and the umpires. Looks like the football scrimmage has ended over on the football field. And a good time was had by all over there, I think.
I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to say Eau Claire Memorial is going to be really tough this year.
Well, I'm going to say that Eau Claire Memorial won that scrimmage.
I think you're right.
It's like 900 kids out there.
Shout out to my nephews, Gavin and Gage, who attend Eau Claire Memorial.
Hey, I am an Eau Claire Memorial alum.
Shout out to Rick, the alumni.
All right, stepping up to the plate for the Cavaliers is Ben Boda. He's 0 for 2, grounded to short, grounded into a double play to short, and then struck out. And the first pitch is outside for a ball. And that's a called strike. And the pitch, that's outside and back to the screen for a ball.
I guarantee you, he's not going to call that one a strike.
This is true.
Dan, wherever you are, we're okay.
2 balls, 1 strike.
So first he goes outside corner. Then he tries coming back in. Neither one was a strike.
3 balls, 1 strike. And Boda fouls that one away. Count goes full. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cavaliers trailing 11-1 to the Marshfield Chaparrals. Here's the pitch. That's low and in the dirt for ball 4.
And Boda does his job. He gets on as the leadoff hitter.
So Blake Bemnister coming to the plate.
Bemnister looking for his first hit.
And the first pitch is a called strike. Bemnister struck out his last time up. And that pitch is outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Boda takes his lead at first. Ground ball past the pitcher to second. Steps on second, throw over to first. And they can't tell. They're calling him safe at first. So, we get the out. There's the out at second. And the runner is safe at first. So, Blake Bemnister is on a fielder's choice. That takes us to Caden Erickson. Erickson's 1 for 3. And the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 1. And a ground ball, fair territory, picked up by the pitcher, flips over to first for the out. So Erickson grounds 1 to 3, 2 down, and brings up Cam Kapanke. We have Ben Boda over at second. And the pitch, fly ball, fair territory. Moving over is the second baseman, Jersley, and he makes the catch. And that's going to do it tonight. Final score in this one is the Marshfield Chaparrals 11 and the Cavaliers 1. And we will have more information about this when we do Talkin' Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been watching NLWN-TV's presentation of Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Talkin' Baseball, with a look back at today's game. Time now for Talkin' Baseball, with a wrap-up of today's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball game, presented by Mama Squirrels Cleaning and more. And now, back out to the ballpark.
And we're back here at Carson Park, and the Cavaliers, you know, Ben, with what could best be described as kind of a lackluster performance tonight, dropping a game 11-6. Or 11-1. What am I saying? 6. I'm giving them credit for a lot of runs there. 11-1. And unfortunately, it's on Fan Appreciation Night. And Cavaliers just didn't have what it took tonight. Just out of sorts. Your thoughts on that?
Looked a little rusty. 6 errors. Just, what do we got? 4 hits. Costly gave up a lot of base runners. Threw a lot of pitches. Thank God nobody got hurt going into the playoffs.
They're going to have to perform a whole lot better than that. The 6 errors is the worrisome part of this. Some of the hitting, they were hitting the ball on the numbers a few times, but again, right at people. A few too many strikeouts, and there were, well, I guess there were only 2 where they struck out looking. The other strikeouts were swinging. Let's see, I see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 strikeouts that Marshfield delivered in 7 innings. So that's pretty impressive on their part. Cavaliers, on the other hand, gave up way too many hits, 9 hits. But again, it's those 6 errors. That's equivalent to giving up 15 hits in a game. And 2 of those errors were 2-base errors. So that's a couple of extra doubles in a game. You just can't play in the field that way and expect to come away winners. And tonight, the Cavaliers discovered the truth to that. And we're going to get Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister up here before too awful long. By the way, the winning pitcher in tonight's game was Nick Urban. He did 5 scoreless innings. A real nice job of pitching by Urban. He gave up only 3 hits and struck out 8. Losing pitcher Lucas Costley, one of the most struggling performances I've seen him have. Inning and a third, 7 runs, 5 were earned. And actually, let me look at this. That may be 6 earned. 6 of them were earned. 7 runs, 6 were earned. And so Lucas Costley picks up his first loss of the season. He gave up 7 hits in an inning and a third. And so pretty big struggle there. His whip is going to jump on that one. And so, yeah, we'll have to see what those numbers end up looking like. But you know what? The biggest number is the one that was up on the scoreboard. 11-1 is the final score. And that's what anybody really cares about.
Yeah, the Cavs have 5 days to figure it out, and let's hope they do.
Well, I am not too concerned about that part of it. If we see the Cavalier team that we've seen in the last part of the season perform, they're going to do just fine in the tournaments. But they came in here not focused on this game. And that showed pretty clearly right away. Little bit of picture taking going on down by home plate with one of the Chaparrals. Riley Bauman is down there with some of the Cavaliers. And I'll tell you what, we're going to take a bit of a timeout while we wait for Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister to come up here. And we'll do that as you're talking baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How was it? Is it good?
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-TV. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, August 12th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers in the Wisconsin Baseball Association Regional Tournament taking on the Iron City Miners from Ellsworth, Wisconsin. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12:30 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, August 12th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
And we're back here at Carson Park talking with Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister. What on earth did we just see today?
6 errors.
Yeah, that's the thing that Ben and I were just talking about. That's the most troubling part of today was 6 errors up on the board, and they were almost all of them were fairly routine plays.
Yeah, it's it's something I will say is a smidge bit embarrassing for the Cavs to have happen.
Especially on Fan Appreciation
Night. And now you have Fan Appreciation Night, yep. It is what it is. Got to turn the page. We got big game on Saturday. Better to have it today than it is on that day, I think. I'm disappointed for our fans because they're great, and they deserved a better game.
They did get a special thing happen, unless I miscounted. Andrew Milner threw an immaculate inning.
I don't know.
In the third inning, that was 3 straight strikeouts on 9 pitches. And
okay. Hey, if you did, good for him. It's 11-1 though.
Yeah.
So I accolades to anybody that did anything great, but it's about the 16 guys that showed up tonight, and not just one performance. But good for him if he did. Would have been better if it was in a win.
And I totally understand. Yeah, amazing the difference between our chat this morning over a friendly cup of coffee and after a game like this, it's hard to feel good about things.
No, the nice thing is we can just flush this away. It doesn't mean anything, doesn't affect anything. It's not towards our record. It's not towards anything. It's just a fan appreciation night. You just would wish that you'd come to play a little harder and be prepared. I mean, I don't know. I don't say we had 3 errors at first base. We had an error at third. We had one at short, one at second.
Yeah, the one at second was totally mind-boggling. Caden Erickson doesn't miss those.
I don't know. We got to make sure that we don't have that happen again. But it was kind of
that made our pitchers going to be a really short run in the playoffs.
Yeah, our pitchers threw too many pitches today because of it. But again, the pitchers threw well. I mean, Lucas had a little bit of rough outing, but
overall, you're right. They threw pretty well, and it's just that Marshfield played well, and their pitchers. Kept your guys pretty well handcuffed.
Yeah, well, I mean, couldn't hit the ball at all. I mean, it's a fan appreciation night. We're going to treat it as a night where we can get everybody in the game and make sure everybody gets a chance to do stuff. And, every person that showed up tonight, I promised them they'd be in the game, so at least they could say hi to their parents or whatever and people that showed up for them. So I just wish it was on a win. But it was nice to see all of our guys that were able to make it. Those other guys are out of town. A couple are sick. There's nothing they could do about it. But the guys that showed up tonight, they all played. And they all did a part, whether it was a good or a bad part. It is what it is. I mean, they played a role. Everybody played a role in the game tonight. So it was nice to see that too.
And sometimes baseball is a very unforgiving sport, and if you're not completely ready to play the game,
Yeah.
it's going to make you look pretty sad.
Yeah, and again, kudos to Marshfield. I mean, they came to the field today and apparently had a horseshoe somewhere. I mean, they just flared the bat for most of their hits against Lucas, other than a couple of hard hit balls that were done after the flares. It's just bad luck baseball there, but they had bad luck with, that fly ball in the infield. Caden makes, I don't know, maybe 7 out of 10 times. It was a high hit ball and it was right in the lights. He lost it. He said he lost it. He feels really bad about it. And it's a tough play. It wasn't just as if it looked routine to anybody else on the field, that was not routine.
Right, because it did go right through the lights, and you could see it went right through where the light standard is.
And Ben was in no position to make that play, and he saw Caden go right away. So we thought Ben would have a better play on it, but he backed off as soon as Caden went, which is the right thing to do. You don't want a collision.
And Caden called him off.
Yep. You don't want a collision. You want anybody hurt. So that, at least there's that silver lining. But yeah, and kudos to the guys that pitched tonight, Lucas and Andrew and Drew and Fish. They all came and they threw really well, and just didn't have the luck that they needed behind them. And their bats were silent. We only had 4 hits, maybe, or 5, whatever it was, and 6 errors. If you have more errors than hits, it's not going to work out for you.
Right, and one of the things Ben and I were talking about, we gave up 9 hits, but then when you put the 6 errors on top of that, that's the equivalent of giving up 15 hits, and 2 of those were 2 base errors. So that's a couple of extra doubles in there, and
sprinkle in 4 or 5 walks, and you've got yourself a really good formula for a bad night.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened tonight. So it's out of the system, and got it behind us, and so now we can play fabulous baseball this weekend.
Saturday at 1 o'clock. Come out to Ellsworth. We'll be full force on that day, and everybody be arrested. So,
and this is playoff time, so it's the Iron City Miners are the first ones on the checklist.
Yep. Yeah,
right.
You'll see. Like I said, tonight you saw a couple guys out of position-ish. We'll be all right. We'll be good.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming up and joining us tonight on Talkin' Baseball, and we'll be back with more Talkin' Baseball right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Back here at Carson Park, where the Cavaliers have come up on the short end of tonight's fan appreciation night by the score of 11-1 to the Marshfield Chaparrals. Ben, your final thoughts?
Real quickly, I'm going to say I'm really glad nobody got hurt for the Cavs heading into the playoffs. And I'm quite positive the Cavs are going to bounce back Saturday because Coach Bemnister will push all the right buttons. And just couldn't get any hits hardly, no base on balls hardly, too many errors. Your thoughts, Rick?
Well, it's the errors that really got my attention. 6 is not allowable. You can't do that. But the good part of that is it happened. It's in the past. And now you know what happens when that occurs. And the Cavs are just going to have to make sure it doesn't happen again. And so it's on to the playoffs, and we'll be playing on Saturday. Speaking of which, join us on Saturday on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN-TV as we bring you the Cavaliers in the WBA Regionals from Ellsworth as the Cavs face the Iron City Miners. Coverage will begin at 12:30 with the In the Dugout show, followed by all the play-by-play action. Also, the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 are excited to announce that NLWN-2 will be the new home for Colfax Viking football. Our first broadcast of Viking football will be on Friday, August 18th, when the Vikings take on the Whitehall Norsemen. Viking preview will begin at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play action. Our Geno's player of the game today was Ashton Crowell, and he did not score today. So when you go out to Gino's Pizza tomorrow, you mention Ashton Crowell, mention his name, and you will get a free soft drink courtesy of the nice folks out at Gino's Pizza. Remember, that's Ashton Crowell is the name you want to mention. And since today was the fan appreciation game, this would be a really good time for us to express our appreciation to the Cavalier organization for giving us the opportunity to have such a great summer at the ballpark, bringing you all these games. And we'd also like to express our gratitude to our great sponsors for making these broadcasts possible. And especially to you, our viewers and listeners. If it weren't for you, none of this would happen at all. Now, today's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball game is brought to you by Gino's Pizza right next to Action City near the intersection of Highways 93 and I-94. Midwest Environmental Consultants, lawn care and soil testing experts for Western Wisconsin. The Goat Coffee House at 336 Water Street for good coffee and great sandwiches. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Menominee Eye and Optical with quality personalized care for you and your family. Mama Squirrels Cleaning and more. Ready to get your house sparkling. Your Napa Auto Parts store at 3580 Mall Drive in Eau Claire. Slayton's Technology Service, the official IT provider of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. And Royal Credit Union, where they're different in a good way. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. So for Ben Ryder and Ann Monroe and Cassie Johnson-Nelson, this is... Oh, and don't forget Dan, even though he had to leave early, Dan Petchow. That's the second time I've almost forgotten Dan. I can't do that. You just can't forget Dan. Anyway, this is Rick Olson. That final score once again: the Marshfield Chaparrals 11, Cavaliers 1. You've been tuned to Talkin' Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been watching Talkin' Baseball, a wrap-up of today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. This has been a production of NLWN-TV.